Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. I'm David Nates, and let's talk about productivity. We've all seen motivational videos with people like Mark Wahlberg showing off the fact that he wakes up at 2:30 a.m. in the morning to work out, or Arnold Schwarzenegger saying such things as,
"We have 24 hours a day and we only sleep 6 hours, so 18 hours are remaining. If you sleep for 8 hours a day, then I only have one message for you. Sleep faster."
I get it that listening to such successful people, well, one can start thinking, wow, that's going to be impossible for me. Although in many ways, they are right. We do need to look up to people like Mark Wahlberg. But he even said it himself, he doesn't get up every day at 2:30 a.m. And if he does, it's because he went to sleep at 6:30 p.m. The same goes with Arnold. 6 hours of sleep may be good for many, most of the time, but sometimes you just need to sleep for 8 hours. As humans, we need to listen to our body. In order to be productive, one needs to understand the actual definition of productivity. For me, it's achieving or producing a significant amount of results in my daily life. But that is my definition. One needs to look in on themselves and actually realize what is possible for them to physically accomplish. If someone sets an attainable goal, we also need to be willing to accept the fact that failure is possible too. For example, losing 30 pounds in one day is unattainable, while setting a strategy on how to lose weight gradually through exercising and dieting will achieve better results. This is why one needs to decide what productivity means to them and how much they can actually focus on that set task or set of tasks in order to create reachable goals for themselves, their business, and in their overall life. Remember that trying to reach a goal isn't a one-size-fits-all approach, so you may need to do some trial and error in order to figure out what works best for you. That being said, here are a couple of tips that have helped me enormously in structuring my time more efficiently, which in turn has allowed me to do more without getting burnt out, stressed, and unmotivated. Tip number 1, create deadlines. No matter if it's a busy workday or the weekend, set up a deadline for yourself. Pick at least 3 activities that need to be done today, then also assign yourself tasks for the week or the month. Procrastinating is really our own worst enemy. I've always enjoyed to-do lists. Maybe it's because I got used to using them during work hours, but I find that writing down what you want to accomplish makes these tasks become similar to a vision board. The fact of seeing words on paper throws the idea out to the universe and makes me more compelled to wanting to complete it. Also, there's a sort of satisfaction to checking off or deleting a task off that list. The thing with to-do lists is that they can get overwhelmingly long. This is why creating separate lists for your daily, weekly, or monthly tasks will actually make a big difference. Kind of like how jobs have deadlines. Creating them for yourself will make you accomplish more. Success is not just for businesses, but can transpire into one's overall lifestyle. Personally, even when I'm trying to take it a little bit easier on the weekend, not having a plan can lead to wasting your day. It may seem counterintuitive, but even doing things on your day off actually takes some planning. Imagine sleeping all day long and having wasted a full day or two going straight back to work. Putting an alarm on the weekend can make someone start their day out earlier. This way, even on your day off, you can enjoy a hike, watch your favorite TV show, visit some friends, and ultimately make the best out of your day. I'm not saying sleeping isn't important, but it's more about finding a balanced amount of rest, which in turn creates interesting and fulfilling experiences in one's life. Tip number 2, productively procrastinating. We are all human, and we all will procrastinate at some point or another. It could be the simple act of looking at your social media, reading your emails, or just mindlessly looking for stuff on Google. I get it. Everyone needs to shut their brain off. One thing we need to realize is that it's okay to cool off and do so sometimes, as long as it doesn't become the only activity that you do each day. Also, if your thing is to, for example, chat with friends on the phone, a good habit is to find another task to do while talking to your friends or family on the phone. Start by tidying up your house, finishing small tasks that are on your to-do lists, which may not take too much brain power. Do your errands, such as going to the supermarket. Worst comes to worst, you can still get some walking exercise by simply walking while talking on the phone. There are 2 types of people in the world. People who keep on putting tasks off, and then there are people who get a thrill out of completing tasks. If you're a fan of video games, like myself, and somewhat of a completionist, think of your tasks as trophies in a game. Every time you complete something, you unlock something new in that game. By unlocking your tasks, you're actually unlocking your life and getting more experience points. There's even ways of making whatever task you're doing more game-like. I've sometimes set timers to finish a task, be it 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Of course, whatever the task is, do make sure that it can actually be completed in more or less the amount of time. This can be super helpful for tasks that are monotonous, or you just have those kind of tasks that you have to power through and are just difficult to do. What's good about timers is that it gives a person an end time, but also an incentive. This means that if you did the task in the allotted amount of time, you can reward yourself with a snack or take a 30-minute break, watching an episode of your favorite TV show, or even giving yourself an evening off to hang out with friends. As you can see, being productive is something that leads to rewards, and having just the reward without actually working for something will usually create bad habits. After all, nothing is free in life. Tip number 3, change settings. Sometimes when you are trying to be too productive, you may actually hinder yourself and get stalled. When this happens, changing location can be of great help. This is why many people go to coffee shops to work. As much as I love working from home, our brain has a tendency to associate it with safety and relaxation. This is often made worse by having homes with soothing lighting, comfortable beds, sofas, and nice warm blankets. I'm not saying to make your home uncomfortable. On the contrary, homes should feel cozy. It's just that sometimes when I'm at home, I find myself so relaxed that getting things done practically becomes impossible. On the other hand, by going to a coffee shop, a library, or even the local park where you can sit down and simply take away distractions, well, that may help you to be more productive. Especially if a big chunk of your work is computer-based, the amount of noise in these places is often enough to stimulate one's activities. And if you are stuck at home working, setting up a work table somewhere within your living space other than one's bedroom can make the brain associate that spot with work. It just comes down to removing distractions such as emails, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Netflix. Removing these can make a huge impact. Even setting your cell phone to silent can make a world of difference. How many times have you sat down to work to inevitably hear that phone ringing or a text message coming through? I know some people are able to ignore these alerts, but I tend to become curious as to who is calling or texting me, and I will be checking my phone. By putting it on silent, I'm able to distance myself from the outside world and actually dedicate my attention to the task on hand. In some ways, being productive is not as difficult as some people make it seem. It comes down to using the same rules that people usually apply when they are going into their day job. They don't get distracted, they avoid phone calls and messages, and they stay away from social media. These rules may seem extreme to some, but if you think about it, being efficient for a few hours during the day may actually free up more time on that same day to do fun things that would otherwise be categorized as unproductive. Tip number 4, do less but accomplish more. You've probably heard people say this to you, work hard and it will pay off. But what if I told you that sometimes it's not about working hard but working smarter? Wilfredo Pareto, an economist, established the 80-20 rule as a helpful concept for life and time management. The rule suggests that 20% of your activities will account for 80% of your results. This is why on any general to-do list, 2 out of 10 items are usually worth more than 8 items put together. The truth is that most people will procrastinate on the top 10 or 20% of items that are most valuable and busy themselves with the less important 80% that contribute very little to their success. If one can focus on the most valuable tasks that can be done each day, then the payoff and rewards for completing them can outweigh all the other tasks that would otherwise fill up your time. The reason that most people don't do the most important tasks is because they're usually the most demanding and difficult to do. If you have the habit of starting your day working on low-value tasks, then this might actually just result in you wasting your time. So before you begin work each day, always ask yourself, is this task in the top 20% of my activities or in the bottom 80%? Or, in other words, try to resist temptation to clear up small things first. In order to do that, you are going to have to identify what is standing between your use time and your final goals. Sometimes it can be a feeling of learned helplessness, or it could be a simple number of excuses. Remember, Whatever you have learned can be unlearned. If your desire is to truly be productive in your day, it's because you have bigger goals that you would like to achieve. Otherwise, you would simply be happy with the current lifestyle that you have. No matter how long you've procrastinated or feel that you have wasted time, if you are healthy and are able-minded enough, it's never too late to challenge yourself and reach for a higher goal. Tip number 5, live without limits. In order to truly be productive, you have to have clarity in your goals. What do you want out of life? Where do you see yourself going? Write down your goals and make a plan on how to accomplish them. Prioritize what needs to be done and accomplish something that actually takes you closer to your goal every day. The process may feel like baby steps. Just don't forget that life is sometimes very similar to the children's fairy tale of the tortoise and the hare. Some people may seem like they are running through life, accomplishing goals extremely fast, but more so than not, the slow and steady approach will bring you to the winning position. The closer you do get to your dreams, the greater self-confidence and self-belief you will develop. Convince yourself that there are no limits. That is exactly how your life will become limitless. Remember to work on your competences, becoming very good in your desired skills, and the results will show. Life is about committing to yourself and bettering oneself on a daily basis. Laser focus on exactly what you want to be, have, and do. Concentration and perseverance without too many distractions will lead you to a straight path of productivity. It's okay to dream big. Everything in life starts with a dream. It's also okay to change your way of life. If some activities take too much time without giving enough results, that may mean that changing them will give you more time to be productive. As you focus on doing what you love doing, excellence will come and make a difference in your life. Look at life with the perspective of possibility and not impossibility. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to subscribe and hit the like button. Each video I do is a journey into a specific subject. For me, creating helpful content is one of my biggest desires. On a side note, studies have shown that there is a big attitude difference between the rich and the poor in regard to goal setting. The difference is that 85% of rich people have one big goal that they work on all the time. If your goal is to be wealthy, start thinking like them. Pick one immense goal and work toward it every day. If you have any questions, well, please be sure to leave me a comment. I love hearing from you guys and will do my best to answer each and every one of you. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.